Hi, everyone. Welcome to Town Hall Film and Media. I'm Lisa Gold. I'm the Executive Director of the Asian American Arts Alliance, or A4. Very, very excited to be with you tonight here at this beautiful museum and this spectacular library. So, big thanks to our hosts, Marley, Passany, and Richard. Um, I'm going to actually, Marley, do you want to come up and say a few words before I go into my whole spiel? Okay.
Oh my God. Um, hey guys, my name is Marley Chick Stewart. I'm the manager for public programs here at the International Center of Photography. And thank you guys so much for showing up and showing out for A4's Town Hall. We're super excited and lucky to be partnering with A4 on this incredible event. So thank you, Lisa, Justine, and also to our public programs coordinator, Passing Wong, who's helping with check-in downstairs. Um, as you might have noticed on your seats, there is a handout full of our upcoming programs. At ICP, we'd love to have you back. We currently have two new shows up, one by Edward Bertinsky and one by Shada Soleimani. Both are open until September 28th. And yeah, we'd love to have you guys back. So without further ado, just hand it back to Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Um, okay. Yeah, this is great. Who's been to a town hall before? Just curious. About half, maybe. Okay. So, and how many of you are new to A4? Is this your first A4 event? Oh, good. Wow. Okay, this makes me really happy. I love seeing new faces here. So, those of you who are not familiar with A4, we are a 42-year-old nonprofit service organization dedicated to ensuring greater representation, equity, and opportunities for Asian American and Pacific Islander artists and arts organizations. And we do that through resource sharing, promotion, and community building. So, Town Hall is one of those key events. It's a bi monthly event that allows us to build community with each other and help you promote your work and make connections and all of those great things. We love this event. Like I said, it's been happening for probably 12 years now, if not longer, every other month, even during the pandemic. We moved to Zoom. This is one of the great A4 traditions. Come on up to the front row. Nobody wants to sit here. It's a great seat. Come in. There's plenty of seats up here. Um, with that, I just want to let everybody know there's always a lot going on in the world right now, and A4 is really committed to being a safe space. So don't be afraid. Come up here. I don't bite. In that vein, I wanted just to share our community safety statement before we start, because we aim to create environments in person and online that are welcoming, inclusive, and safe physically and emotionally for our community members. So if we observe actions or behaviors that can be interpreted as harmful or threatening, A4 retains the right to use our discretion and remove the offending party. And so for our community safety, we further reserve the right to suspend an offending party uh, from attendance at A4 events in the future, both in personal and virtual. We're not going to have to do that because everybody's going to be really well behaved tonight. So I'm just going to share a few protocols. We are recording this event and it will be available on our website. I'm sorry, on our YouTube channel later, AA Arts Alliance. I do ask that you silence your phones. One, two, three, four, five, six seats up here, one back there. Come on up. There are restrooms straight back to that hallway where that picture is framed, and then to the right. So if you need a restroom, if you need Wi-Fi, you can use the ICP public Wi-Fi. And then after the event, so we're going to move downstairs for the potluck, and then once that is over, if you want to continue mingling, there is a wine bar down the street called Sometime, and that's just over on Broome Street, so super close. Anyway, okay, so for you newbies, I'm going to tell you how tonight is going to roll. So tonight we have three featured presenters. We have a bonus presenter. We usually only have two, but we have three tonight. And then we have two groups of short pitches, of 2-minute pitches. And then I sit up here in the front row with a clock that stopwatch that winds down the time that tells you when your time is up. So I'll be right there. So you 2-minute pitchers, you can see me. And please, we have a lot of people sharing stuff tonight, so please do your best to stay on time. I don't have a big hook to pull you off, but we will give you the stink eye if you stay on too long. Um, so after the first featured presentation, I'm going to call the names up for the people giving 2-minute pitches, and the names will also appear up here on the screen. And then we're going to repeat the process after our second featured presenter, or third. Anyway, and then after everybody who's pre-registered and has slides, if you want to share something, we have a big Post-it note between these bookshelves here, and you just like take that marker, it's on the shelf there, write your name, your Instagram handle or website, or however we can get in touch with you, or more importantly, how other people can connect with you. And then you'll line up, just, Joanna, there's a seat right here. You want to sit there, and then there's one back there. So then once you put your name up for the 30-second pitch, just line up along here, and then you'll pitch in that order, and I'm going to have the same clock there telling you when your 30 seconds are up. And yeah, you can talk about anything, work, project, introduce yourself. We're just, yeah, happy to let you share your whatever. And then afterwards, we'll go downstairs to enjoy the potluck spread in the cafe on the first floor. Let's see, I already told you that we were recording. If you want to share anything tonight, tag us on social at A4 AA Arts Alliance. We have a survey. We have a post-event survey that we're going to ask you to fill out. It's super easy. It's really fast. We'll put up a QR code. You can do it on your phone. And as incentive, we have 3 swag bags with really great stuff in it. Like, I think we have Fly by Jing sauce. I don't know. We have like fancy moisturizer and like a silk scarf designed by an artist and some cool things. So that's incentive for you to fill out the survey. But we do this because we want to hear from you. We want to know what kind of programs you want. We want to know what's important to you, what's interesting, how we can make this better. So believe it or not, we actually do listen to you. These pitches used to be 1 minute each, and everybody said that was way too fast. We needed more time, so we made it 2 minutes. And other things too. I'm not exactly sure, but like I said, we do want to hear from you, and actually like themes for town halls or featured speakers. If you want to be a featured speaker, yeah, just let us know. And then also note that we will be sharing the slideshow with all of you. Justine will send that out. Anybody who registered for tonight, you'll get that in your inbox, so you don't feel rushed and having to take pictures of the screenshots and everything like that. So just some notes on some upcoming events. So we have on July 22nd, we have a mixer with the Asian American Writers Workshop at Land to Sea in Williamsburg. It is currently a capacity, but we do have a waiting list. So if you want to meet some writers, there's that. We just last month launched, or I guess in May, we launched an application for A4 Arts Fund. It's our first massive re-granting program. We're offering $25,000 grants to small AAPI arts organizations and artist collectives who have been doing work for 3 years. If you have 3 years of financial records as an artist collective, and your budget is under $500,000, you are eligible for this grant, which closes on Thursday. So check it out, get it done. We have another town hall coming up. As I said, we do this every other month. So the next one is September 25th at Asia Art Archive in America. It is a beautiful space in Brooklyn Heights if you haven't been there. And the theme is traditions. So mark your calendar, another fun night. And let's see, what else? Okay. So we have, if you haven't been on our website, we have an opportunities page. And we also have a newsletter that lists. The newsletter just lists a sample. It comes out every other week, and it gives you a list of events that are happening in the community and opportunities, jobs, grants, residencies, whatever. But there are a lot of film opportunities. And so on our website right now, there's one for the Sundance Institute Documentary Fund, for AXS Film Fund, for Doc NYC Pro Pitch Day, Film ADA Fund, Impact Partners Development Fund. All of these are for finishing funds, for all sorts of things. So check it out. Check out our opportunities page. Like I said, it's a really, really great resource. And then also check out our online magazine, The AMP. So we do features. Yeah, that's me. Sorry. Yeah, that's mine. It's okay. Sorry. And so the AMP is our online magazine. If you want to pitch, if you want to do a film review, if you want to do an interview with a filmmaker, if you want to pitch something, check it out. And instructions on how to pitch are on our website. So give it a read. Again, it's another platform to uplift the voice of AAPI creators in the community and archive the amazing work that we are all doing too. Let's see. And then, oh, finally, just a friendly reminder to share your work with us. If you have a premiere, if you have a reading, if you have a screening, anything, just put it on our website. We have a free community calendar. It's super easy to use. And that's how we pull events to feature in our newsletter. So, and sign up for the newsletter if you don't have that already so you don't miss out. Okay, some thanks and another acknowledgement. So we have to thank the people who allow us to do this, which is the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council, New York State Council on the Arts, with the support of Governor Kathy Hochul and the New York State Legislature, the National Endowment for the Arts, the Howard Gilman Foundation, Ford Foundation, and a lot of generous individuals, including our amazing, amazing A4 team, Justine Lee, Leo Chang, Danny Wu, Lexi Walken, and Stephanie Shin. Let's give a big round of applause to the A4 staff. They are so good. They are. Okay, so I'm just going to do a very quick land acknowledgement because we acknowledge that the land politically designated as New York City to be the homeland of the Munsee and Lenape peoples who were violently displaced as a result of European settler colonialism over the course of 400 years. And the Lenape are diasporic people who remain closely connected with this land and are its rightful stewards. So, as an organization that focuses on the rights of underrepresented people and in solidarity with Indigenous people, we recognize this history and we uplift the sovereignty of Indigenous people and territory, and we commit to dismantling ongoing settler colonial practices and their implications in our world. So, with that, I am very, very excited to introduce our first featured presenter, Munir Atalla. Munir is the head of production and acquisitions at Watermelon Pictures, a film production and distribution company rooted in creative resistance. Um, he previously oversaw creative writing strategy for growing and emerging markets at Netflix. He's an investigative reporter. He's produced projects for all sorts of people like A24, NBC News, PBS Frontline, was nominated for a DuPont Award for journalistic excellence, and he teaches filmmaking courses at Columbia and Hofstra. And his own work has screened at numerous festivals, including Aspen Shorts, New Yorker Screening Room, and Black Star Film Festival. So with that, I give you Munir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me here to the Asian American Arts Alliance. Thank you, Marley, Richard, and everybody from ICP. This is a beautiful space. And it really takes courage these days, I think, to make space for Palestinian cultural projects, given the landscape that we're in. So I especially appreciate that, and it's not lost on me. Um, Watermelon Pictures is a film distribution and production label that I'm a part of, lucky to be a part of. I guess who here knows the story of the watermelon as it relates to Palestine? Okay, cool. The watermelon has become kind of a symbol of cultural resistance for Palestinians because in the first Intifada, which took place in the 80s in the West Bank and Gaza, the flying the Palestinian flag, which maybe you've seen, it's red, blue, red, black, white, and green. What was actually prohibited by the Israeli occupation. So when the occupation cracked down on an art gallery that was painting sort of anti-occupation, images, one of the painters said, what if I were to just paint a watermelon? Would that be because? Sorry, one step back. The Israeli occupation banned those colors, right? The colors of the Palestinian flag to be used by artists in any form. So one of the painters said, "What if I were to just paint a watermelon?" And the soldiers said, "We'd still confiscate it." So from that day on, Palestinian painters started using the fruit, as sort of a symbolic nod to the absurdity of that, the banning of colors themselves, the primary building blocks of images and everything that we produce, and also just as a cheeky way to kind of point to the fact that no amount of oppression can ever squash out creativity. So we honor that symbol in our logo and that spirit in what we do. So the story of Watermelon Pictures, you don't have to read this slide, but I think I'll tell you the story. It is, I think, an immigrant story that so many can relate to. In the 1960s, two Palestinian brothers came to America and started their lives here, and we're still very rooted and connected to their homeland. So, they came together and started a film distribution company, which at the time looked like they like physically taking film reels, celluloid, and you know carrying it on by bicycle to nursing homes and schools and just spreading this medium, this physical medium. That little endeavor grew into a full-fledged distribution company over many decades, where they went from celluloid to VHS tapes, Betamax, DVD, and today into digital distribution. So this generation and their struggle and their sacrifice really built the foundation of Watermelon Pictures, which was founded by the two sons of those brothers, Hamza and Badi Ali, the Ali brothers. And they, in response to what happened, just the dehumanization of Palestinian people and the ongoing genocide in Gaza, came together and said, we are basically, we've inherited a distribution company, right? And we're probably the only Palestinians in the world that own a distribution company. And we need to make use of it to bring our films and our story to more people. So, I don't know, is anybody here in the world of film, vaguely defined, right? I think it's probably no secret that Hollywood is in a bit of a tailspin. It's a flaming mess, and just a brief history. There's been massive corporate consolidation of all of these historical studios. They've been bought out by tech companies. During the pandemic, theatrical and the box office took a major blow from which it hasn't fully recovered. That also sparked kind of a golden era of documentaries where streamers came in and started buying films and content. But then the streamers realized they didn't have to buy anything, so they stopped buying anything. And we've got kind of our big streamers that are pretty much focused on just the lowest common denominator type of content, just stuff that completely, in our opinion, fails to meet our political moment and even fails to entertain or even be truly art in so many ways, right? So much of what we see being invested in and produced is content of that nature that's just completely numbing, distracting, vacuous. So part of what we're trying to do is, first of all, create and empower artists who are able to bring a more courageous voice, to the fore, but also kind of combat the Hollywood structure in general and say that instead of relying on basically tech billionaires and their whims, or relying on these massive multimedia conglomerates to give us the crumbs from their table, we want to create our own media ecosystem, something that uh, holds us accountable not to any investors, not to massive corporations, but really to our own audience. And I think it is the independence of Watermelon Pictures that makes it such a radical project in some ways, and it makes us able to be truthful and outspoken in this moment when basically no other distributor has taken on a Palestinian film since October 7th, 2023. And it's not looking like they're about to, right? But at the same time, audiences like you really, I think, crave this content, right? We want to understand what our government is doing. We want to understand what our taxes are paying for, right? Where these bombs that are being manufactured very close to where we live are being dropped, right? So, and hopefully that knowledge will lead to action, and that action will lead to change. So, we see film as kind of a vehicle to that, and an art form, and also, strangely, a form of commerce. These are all sort of contradictions that we're all having to navigate in the industry, right? A film isn't like a painting in that one artist can sort of delve into into their own style and technique and just produce something magnificent. It's an inherently collaborative medium. It's something that requires all of us, and including audience members, to actually fulfill its purpose in life, right? We can't call a film if it's never seen in some ways, because yeah, it's a communal ritual, right? So what we're trying to do is kind of bring the movement to the movies. We're trying to uh, take all of this energy, all of this frustration too that people are experiencing, not just around Palestine, but around so many issues right now, and bring that into theaters and say that actually this is a valid use of our time. It's a precious space for communities to grieve, to laugh, to be entertained, to experience a sort of cathartic release when the world demands so much of us, even just on a daily basis, right? So, um, yeah, I don't need to tell this audience why Hollywood has just really failed so many communities and representation, portraying so many of our people as lesser than, as terrorists, as violent, or inherently, basically just the recipients of violence. And yeah, I think owning sort of the means of production is one major way that we're hoping to start slowly shifting these things. So while we're very collaborative, we also have launched our own streaming platform called Watermelon Plus. It's the largest archive of Palestinian cinema ever assembled. It's available worldwide. And on top of that, it's a space for all of our new releases that, once they're sort of finished with their theatrical run, they will go up on Watermelon Plus so that people can access them really anywhere in the world where we have the license for them. And third, it's a space where people are able to kind of support and accelerate the work that we're doing. So beyond just being a streaming platform where people go and just consume content, we're also slowly building it into more of a robust platform where we hope to start integrating people's opinion and voices into the development process, right? It's very valuable for us to know at an early stage what kind of films our audience wants to see. We think we have a sense of this because we're in community and in conversation with so many audiences on a regular basis. But at the same time, we don't want to be the arbiters of what gets made and what doesn't. And for the most part, we're really releasing films more than producing. We've got a few original productions that we're very proud of, but at the same time, it's a way of reimagining kind of the pipeline of how films get made that we hope to launch fairly soon. We earlier this year released a film called The Encampments, which was about the student movement. So, just last spring, we had the largest student uprising in US history happen right here in New York, right? Starting at Columbia University and so many other schools that took part in saying that their universities are actually invested in and profiting from war, right? And profiting from genocide. So those students took a very courageous stand and made a lot of sacrifices to get their voices heard. They were almost immediately just completely slandered by mainstream media, and so this film is meant as a sort of corrective and a student's perspective on what life was like inside those encampments. So that's available on Watermelon Plus now, and we would really love for you all to see it. It also features Mahmoud Khalil, who, as many of you know, is a Palestinian student who was abducted off the streets of New York, our city, by ICE agents with no pretense, no charges, and was detained for 104 days as his firstborn son was born. So, just crazy things happening that, deserve, I think, at least some sort of voice intervening against them. And I know so many of you have been those voices. So I thank you and appreciate that. Uh, I think I'll end there and just want to sort of introduce one of our current releases. Um, our next film that will be in theaters starting this weekend. So all of you can actually go to a theater that's not too far from here, the Quad, and watch this film. It's yeah, you can just skip past all this stuff. It's, this is a deck made for others. Um, it's called To a Land Unknown, and it's oh yeah, sorry, 1 second. It's called To a Land Unknown. It's directed by a filmmaker named Mahdi Fleifel. We're partnering with Arte East, one of the great organizations you're going to hear from in a second, to bring you this film on Saturday. They're going to be hosting a talkback at the Quad, so please try to make it out there. But the film is, I think, a really groundbreaking film in the arc of Palestinian cinema because it's a film that's actually set in Athens, and it's about two cousins who are hustling their way to try and make it to Germany, what they call real Europe. They're two Palestinian cousins, and they sort of carry this huge burden of being the ones from their refugee camp who made it to Greece, while at the same time navigating the fact that they're undocumented there, that there's really no way for them to legitimately partake in the economy of this host country. And it's a gritty, very beautiful thriller. But I think the groundbreaking thing about it is that, in so much of our, like the first wave maybe of Palestinian cinema, a lot of it was focused on kind of showing that we don't deserve what's happening to us, right? And I think that that appeal is very natural for a people to make, and that somehow the way it manifests is in saying, we are actually good people. We are not what is being said about us, right? Probably of all the people on earth, like we're some of the most propagandized about, like dollar for dollar. I'm sure there are others, but I think that the associations that even the word Palestine evokes for some, it's think about it, it's the result of a lot of marketing basically that's leading you to think of us as terrorists, as violent, as rejectionists, as overly dramatizing our suffering, for example. But this film, I think, rejects that whole framework and shows two very deeply flawed individuals who refuse to be perfect victims, not in the narrative of the film, but like sort of in a meta way through the filmmaker. So I think in showing characters that are so deeply flawed, it actually is more humanizing than perhaps a romanticized, valorized portrayal of, the noble savage or noble suffering that we are so often associated with. So, by going and supporting this film and other films of ours in theaters, you're really going a huge way towards showing, first of all, theaters that these films are popular. Every film that plays as a theater in New York is the result of a negotiation between the distribution company and the theater. It's really, by making these films available, that's the first step, but really it means nothing if they fall flat and are not received by an audience, an enthusiastic audience, because it signals to the industry that actually these films are not desired. They're sort of nobody. There is no audience for this cinema. With the encampments, we actually broke a box office record on our first weekend, so we're really excited about that. With this film, we hope to keep that momentum going and show also theaters that art cinema, that beautiful, thoughtful, entertaining, but also enlightening cinema is something that people still care about, and will show up for. So, yeah, I really encourage you to just see the film. If it moves you, tell people about it. Word of mouth is truly the best form of recruitment and advertising. And just to say that for our film specifically, we're a company, but we are not in it for the profit, right? We are simply taking everything that comes into this company and reinvesting it in the future of Palestinian stories and also stories of other communities. So this August, we're actually releasing a film called Sudan Remember Us, which is about the Sudanese revolution in 2019 and the young people who are at the center of that. So we have a more expansive vision of liberation than just one nationalist struggle. So I see Lisa standing there smiling very politely at me. I hope you enjoyed the trailer, and I hope to meet some of you and discuss at the potluck. Thank you.
ليك تقول بفنتر على كل أثينا. تحب أثينا؟ مش حلو. يعني حنروح على ألمانيا. تعرف
فين فاصلية؟
إحنا
فكرة.
There's this boy. We want to help him. His mother died. We want to fly him to his aunt in Italy. So they start a new life together.
شفت لها حربوق قعدش معه.
يعني بالنسبة جواز سفر بدنا نزيد عليهم 500 يورو.
How you will make it happen?
حبيبي وين اختفيت؟ دلقت عليك.
آسف والله حياتي. طالعين من هون لو بدها تطبق السما على الأرض. You're scared.
It's human trafficking.
You're helping a little boy.
ايش تعال يقول؟ سقط القناع عن القناع. لا إخوة لك يا أخي، لا أصدقاء يا صديقي ولا قلاع. سقط القناع.
Okay, thank you, Munir. Next up, we're going to have John Wu, who's the Executive Director of Asian CineVision. John is the co-founder and Executive Director of Wu Art International, a New York-based creative services and visual communication studio, and he is the board chair of Asian CineVision, the New York-based non-for-profit media arts organization and presenter of the Asian American International Film Festival. Yes?
Thank you, Lisa. It's kind of ironic that we have our okay. Here we go. So it's kind of ironic that we're here. Actually, the Arts Alliance was founded at Asian CineVision, as I'm told, 42 years ago, and we've seen the organization grow. And so I'm here to talk about the presentation of the Asian American International Film Festival, now in its 48th year. And so we are the festival that that has built our audience from the ground up. We are a community-based organization, principally all volunteers, and we get about this year. It's a landmark year this year. We got about 750 submissions from 30 countries in about 25 languages. And but of course, we only are able to show approximately 120. And so this year we are, it's a groundbreaking year for us in that we have brought on a younger staff, and they are mining the local community, mostly of young people, to screen their films. And but it's also, we want to be able to expose to this younger audience that there is this 50 or so legacy of Asian American storytelling that goes back to the dawn of the Asian American movement. And so I just press this and we can play a trailer.
呢度唔可以玩波嘅喎，嗱，唔好再喺度玩啦，知唔知？
What about our baby? We never had a baby.
How are you going to take care of yourself when you go away? You need more than stories to survive.
I'm okay.
Stress is never good for the body. I'm not stressed.
What you're describing is impossible.
I assure you, it is very much possible.
Okay.
You're doing so good.
Wow, this is my first time seeing it. So the Asian American International Film Festival is in New York, and in the outer boroughs. We oftentimes do free screenings in Queens and in Brooklyn, and so we are opening on July 31st at Asia Society for one night, and then we move to the Regal at Union Square. And so there's a series of feature films of all genres and visual styles, documentaries and feature films, and uh, short films, and also a series of panels, workshops, and discussions that will take place throughout the film festival. And of course, we have networking reception, which is sponsored by, which is the SAG networking lunch, which is sponsored by SAG-AFTRA, and and we're branching out in order to work with the younger emerging organizations in Chinatown, which are working hard to save businesses. Let me see. Like I said, July 31st to October 10th, and you could check the schedule. And so this brings me to this year, 2025, is Asian CineVision's, the festival's holding company 50th year. And what we are doing this year, and you can see we wrestle with this motto, but it is actually 50 years old, and we are the first showcase in the world of Asian American, particularly Asian American um, media makers by and for and about the Asian American experience. And so we don't know a lot about what we're going to do in this 50th year. It's going to be a year-long program, kind of the best of Asian American cinema. We're working with our North American Asian American media arts organizations to help us put together this program and help to contextualize to you, the audience, like, why are you watching these films? Why should you be watching these films? And maybe in the next 50 years, um, people will come back and look at this and say, okay, that was pretty cool. And now what do we do? So I think I got everything. Thank you so much for having us. And we'll turn it over.
Thanks. You're going to stick around so people can ask you questions afterwards?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So yeah, thanks. Next, so we are now going to start our 2-minute pitches, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna bust out the 2-minute. We're running a little behind, but not that much, so we're good. So our registered pitch group. So everybody, Suha, Eunice, Huilin, Wenjun, Cyrus, John, Laura, Justin, Joyce, and Joanna. Please be ready to go. You can line up here if you want, and then it'll make things go a lot faster. But you don't have to. But please be ready, and I'll call you after that. So Suha, you are ready to roll. Okay, I'm gonna set up the 2-minute time.
Thank you. Hi. Oh, I don't know if I do. My name is Sahar Raj. It's really nice to be here among the Asian American community because CAM in San Francisco supported my first narrative project called The Cup Reader in a pitch contest. And I launched my Kickstarter and made my first film. And CAM was like a really integral part. And then they showed the film. So I make narratives, comedies, so far mostly shorts. I wanted to just show you the trailer of my latest short film called Mashed Potatoes, which is about an Arab couple arguing over the journalist Thomas Friedman after 9/11, and unfortunately still very relevant. So this is Mashed Potatoes.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna and I swear signals dance, so I'm not glad that I can't still fake you. Sorry you ever landed. You are my little angel. Really sorry you ever landed. You are my little angel. Really sorry you ever
based on a true story. And so this premiered at Woodstock last year, and now it's touring. And what was beautiful about making this is I just wanted to make something outside of the industry, and I asked people, like wonderful actors, and people jumped in and wanted to be part of this, and it was really an amazing experience. And I agree with Munir that we have to find our own systems. Two of my short films are on Watermelon Plus, Pioneer High and I Am Palestine, my first documentary. And then I've been working on a feature comedy called Khsara, about Arab women who don't get married in time, and it takes place in the diaspora and in Palestine, but that one's on pause for a moment. And the other feature I'm working on is called The Bowling Green Massacre, and I'm going to play it. This is just a mood piece.
In a tiny little town that no one had ever heard of lived an immigrant girl who lied. The town was boring. She wasn't allowed to do anything her friends were doing, and lying made life more exciting. It was 1989, and Louisa and her friends had no idea that their little town would make national news one day because of a bloody massacre.
Came here to this country, were radicalized, and they were the masterminds behind the Bowling Green Massacre, and 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 the Bowling Green Massacre. So I'm even up in the Bowling Green Massacre.
I do believe in God.
Thank you. Eunice?
Hi, my name is Eunice Chen, and I am the creator and director of Tang. And as you can maybe tell, Tang means sugar or candy in Chinese, and um, basically in my story, it starts with the ancient Chinese way of candy making called sugar painting. I don't know if the image is up here, but uh, basically the candies there's a candy maker that goes to school every day, and he sells his candy to these kids, and the candies come to life, and that's kind of the magical element in the film. However, as you keep moving on in the film, you realize that the film is more than just about candy. It's the positive Asian father and son like relationship between the candy maker and an outcast boy. The candy maker takes the outcast boy under his wing, and through passing on his love of candy making, the outcast boy flourishes and comes to life. And so, in that way, the candy maker rescues him. And later on, when a greedy businessman tries to demolish and take over the candy business, the outcast boy, now grown up, rescues the candy maker right back. And these are some characters that we did. And so, and some storyboarding. So the stories that you can see, it preserves the uniqueness from my Chinese culture. At the same time, it deals with universal themes. And in the end, you realize that true magic comes from human connection and love and care for our neighbors. And I think that's a message that we really need now, these days. And it's about human connection. So if you want to support my film, you can do a late pledge on our Kickstarter, or you can do it through my physical sponsor, or come talk to me afterwards.
Huilin?
Hi everyone, my name is Huilin. I'm a producer for films and docs, and starting last year, I have a new identity because I now program for Union Docs for a monthly screening series called Notes and Crannies. And I'll share with you guys a little bit about my screening series. So how I started, when I produce, I have about bajillion Vimeo links from different filmmakers sitting in my inbox, and after watching most of them, I'm like, I can't be the only one on earth, seeing these films. So the first screening was like a trial run. I partnered up with Union Docs in Ridgewood to see how people react to 4 stories from my hometown, Wenzhou, China, and we sold out that night. So I kept on partnering up with Union Docs to bring short film collections and feature film presentations. And sometimes, if I'm lucky, I get a visit from people like Wang Bing, who's the winner of Golden Lions Venice Film Festival, to give us, a spiel of his wisdom. And but he also shit a lot on how dirty New York streets are compared to Paris. So that's that. With the cadence of having, films and Q&As, after we got more familiar with things, I try to partner up with different NGOs or individuals to make it more interesting. So I partnered up with Metro Rock, which is about 5 blocks away from Union Docks. It's my rock climbing gym. It's the neighborhood spot, because we have a film about rock climbing, and for our short film collection that's about sensory memories and sense of touch, I invited a workshop host to teach people how to do needle felting one night. And it's kind of becoming our little tradition that I'll bring out like a drag performer for every queer themed screening. And this is just from several weeks ago for the last year of Darkness in the Park and China's and Cha Cha in the Park as well. People brought out their dogs and lizard. And just really quickly, this is actually the most important part I wanted to share. When I produced, it's often like very big numbers, like millions of budgets and 3 to 5 years timeline. But this screening series has given me a lot of confidence to do things. It's like it's monthly. It's like a little short and cute community gathering, and I met a lot of friends just by doing this. Like we go to like rock climbing weekly, and we'll like basically no weekend goes unplanned. Everybody invites me to their own NGO or own workshops of some kind, and this is sort of more of a invitation to invite you to help me think what could become of this. Is it a community network? Is it maybe a creative distribution company down the line, or what's to become of this? Yeah, I'm interested to hear, and yeah, that's my sharing. Wenjin?
Hello, everybody. I'm Wen Junchen, and I'm like the first time here for the town hall. So I just would like to do a brief introduction of myself and say hello to everybody. And I'm an artist working on digital media and with photography background. So currently, I'm working on like web-based stuff and animation, video, and virtual reality. And the film is about like my identity as a newcomer or immigrant from China, and in like a time with the very rapid development of technologies. And so this, let me try. Oops. And yeah, actually, it is an animation, but and this is my recent work called Aliens of Me. So it's about a like digital identity exploration, and so I just based on my memories share online and the data captured by the smartwatch. So I just input my data and information to the algorithm like the search engine and later the generative AIs to get things and yeah, and make avatar stories and even the work to tell the story about a digital human that actually, yeah, it should be here. Yeah, fine. And later it became a narrative video talking about the story. And later it became a virtual reality experience for the audience to have a immersive storytelling experience. And finally, so it became an installation, and actually it is my MFA physics exhibition. So the audience can get everything there, like the animation, the virtual reality, and they can also like interactive with the avatar. And yep, so yeah, that's a brief introduction about me and my work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Cyrus, you ready? Okay, let's try to keep it to 2 minutes because everybody has a lot. We have a lot of presenters tonight. Okay, so.
Hello. Okay. Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about a short documentary I'm working on called The Next American Superstar. So raise your hands if you've seen a biopic or a biographical movie. Okay, everyone. So biopics, they're very popular. It feels like every other month there's one dropping about some obscure guy. But I can't deny that they're extremely popular. Now, in the 3 seconds in your head, think of a biopic about an Asian American figure. 3, 2, 1. It is most likely that you thought of 0 or at most 1 to 2. And it's weird, and it's also not your fault for thinking of nothing at all because there aren't that many Asian American biopics, which is weird because there's a lot of Asian American figures worth highlighting. And a reason for this is because Hollywood's perception of Asian Americans doesn't fit the mold of what real Asian Americans are like. For example, Yo-Yo Ma, a very famous cellist, a child prodigy, but how likely is it for him to get a biopic made about him? Probably 0. But Maestro exists. Dilip Sound, the first Asian American congressperson, fought for Indian immigrants to become US citizens, but likelihood of him getting a biopic, 0 to none. But Vice exists. So my short documentary, The Next American Superstar, is going to highlight Asian American figures that have been neglected and critique Hollywood's neglect of Asian Americans by having. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. If you want to talk about more.
Yes. Hi, I'm John Victor Corpus. I'm a photographer, filmmaker, and I have a background as a Broadway performer. I actually also work here at ICP. In the library, I curated photo books exploring Asian masculinity in the wooden shelves back there. And I would love to show you this film as my pitch. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Banana, born Asian, nationality American, noble advocate, hashtag Laura Fong. As we are gathered here today at ICP, the International Center of Photography, I'll recount my first interaction. Christopher Phillips, a name synonymous with contemporary Asian art and a former curator at ICP. I met through the Chinese artist Wang Qing-song. I wanted Wang Qing-song's photograph in metallic mylar sitting as if a Buddha with McDonald's logo tattooed on his chest. He said he had a new body of work and told me to contact Christopher to loan it to me for the exhibition. Rena Jana wrote a review in Time Out New York mentioning this long horizontal photographic scroll by Wang Qing-song, a premiere of his work in America in my curatorial project. Patronage. Grateful for incredible supporters, American collectors, the late Fred Dunbar and his wife Helen Mangano, for the lust for life and insatiable quest of exceptional art, such as those by Gu Wenda, Wenda Gu, and Wang Qing-song from Shanghai and Beijing, respectively. Joseph Bayo, attorney partner at Wilkie Farr and Gallagher, Wiki.com, purchased this magnificent photograph through my friend, the art advisor, hashtag Lauren Wong. How I met Wang Qing-song. In Beijing, Christmas, at the home of Li Shangting, the preeminent Chinese art critic. In Beijing, I also had the honor to have slept in a tatami room at the home of Wang Gongxin, the video artist, and Lin Tianmiao. These are salient excerpts from my Travels in China by Laura Fong. I'm looking for a book agent. Perhaps arriving at Shanghai and spending New Year's Eve in dinner with the Swiss art gallerist Lawrence Hebling and meeting Zhao Bandi of the famous photographic series with the panda would be a fitting end to this. Adventures of a Writer, Filmmaker in China by Banana, Laura Fong.
Okay, Justin.
Hi, everyone. My project is about my grandmother, who is currently in Hong Kong and cannot remember her memories. So it started when she began losing her memories. Her photographs became clues to a history that I never knew. And I used her images to trace her journey from when she grew up in China and crossed from mainland China into Hong Kong, imagining around the fragments of her life. In the absence of her past, I became the architect of her memories. I also am an architect in practice, so um, measuring from memory, I began building places that no longer existed. So in this case, this was the bridge that she crossed into from mainland China into Hong Kong, which no longer exists today, but it's around the time in which she crossed. But might still linger in her fading mind. Memories are clarified back into existence, lying somewhere between reality and my recollections of it. In the details of a photograph, and the spaces beyond it. So this is a model which I reconstructed from that one photograph and began making photographs from it. As her reality and my imagination converge, our bond strengthens, bridging histories across generations and places. So using drawings, modeling, photogrammetry to bring memories back into reality and make them real again as a way to reconnect with her and where she might be in her fading mind. So a chair from another memory in time transported into a different memory, almost as if it's an anchor of different memories, as well as a rock which I gave to her when I was young and rediscovered, which I then implanted into this memory. A video which probably doesn't play, but was advertised. But thank you.
Thank you. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Joyce. Hi. I run a Chinatown Arts Community Center with my mom. She couldn't be here today because she's busy teaching a dance class.
And I'm Josephine. I run with my dad a real estate development company. We're actually working to acquire the Chinatown Arts Center right now. Woo! Okay. He also couldn't be here today because he said he had a business meeting. Do you think they're on a date? Okay.
Our parents are secretly dating.
We're sworn enemies.
So we have to break them up.
And that's the premise of our feature film. It's about two former college best friends who find out their parents are secretly dating, and we come together to work to sabotage their relationship.
Well, some of us are also working really hard to build community.
Right.
But if you guys like family dramas, our film is a family drama. Think Parent Trap meets Saving Face with a little bit of honey.
It is super upbeat, fun, Asian, homage to New York City. Can I say queer?
Like, yes, but I don't think they know about that.
Right, okay.
But if you want to know about that part, you can come up to us and talk to us.
Yeah, Joyce and I are a writer-actor duo. Our most recent project, Clean Slate, we wrote and starred in. It's directed by Emily May Jempol. You might know her from Lucky Fish. We got to premiere it at Aspen this year, and then we just screened it at Frameline and Palm Springs Short Fest. And this is our next installment. We're super excited about it. We are looking for EPs, funding, producers to bring on board that are a good fit, and community support.
Thank you, everyone.
Come talk to us. All right, bye.
Hi, I'm Joanna. I'm here today because there is a ballet coming, and you asked me why. I will show you why, because there's a very prominent film person involved, and his name is Tim Yip. He won the Oscar for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So I will just let it play. Can we, this is called The Butterfly Lovers. It's going to be at Lincoln Center in August 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Please get tickets. It's as low as $39, which is great, but you have to buy it very early because that special deal is until July 15th. So let's listen to or watch a little bit of a video.
On October 18th, the Hong Kong Ballet is premiering Ricky Hu's
That was
thrilling
2024.
adaptation of the epic Chinese legend, The Butterfly Lovers.
中国的芭蕾舞它一直都有一种它自己发展的样子，我觉得当它去诠释古典的时候，它就容易变成一个模式。所以后来呢，我自己在想，整个服装的跟那个场景的变化，怎么样去带出新的东西。所以我自己觉得，在中国的芭蕾舞里面，我们可以陷入一种非常无形的结构，比如说是像屏风。我们做了12道非常大的屏风，就不断的穿插，造成那种中国的室内跟室外的感觉。所以它其实是一个想象力的空间跟实体空间，它经常可以通过屏风造成很多的变化。
当他给我们提意见说用12道屏风的时候，我觉得我们两个都觉得还不错，因为我觉得我们第一喜欢舞台非常干净。所以呢，我们会用这个12道屏风做整个 scene change，是会让他不会看到有人在这里拖道具的。
完之后。
Well, I think I have 4 seconds left. Would you mind just swapping to that? Why not? August 22nd, 23rd, 24th, Hong Kong Ballet. This show has already won 6 awards in the Dance Awards, and it's going to be amazing and great. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. All right, thank you to our first group of pitchers. Now we are going to hear from Morrison Gong. So Morrison is an artist working across photography, writing, performance, and moving images. Their video works have been shown at venues including Anthology Film Archives, Microscope Gallery, Vox Populi, many others, and their photography has been featured on It's Nice That, White Hot Magazine, and Lomography Magazine. So here you go.
Can we play my film excerpt first? I don't know where it is. Is it here? No. This is my presentation. You told me the poem you wrote when your guinea pig died. Frankly, I wasn't so impressed by either the story or the poem. It just reminded me of my pet rabbit, who I didn't keep for very long. It died in the winter, and I wasn't sad. I did not love that thing. There was no connection between me and its life. I was actually happy that it died. However, despite my happiness, a quiet shame was reigning inside me. When I heard my uncle and my grandpa died, I experienced a similar feeling. The clots in their brain arteries were slowly eating away their lives. And this genetically determined illness was hovering over our family like a sentient tornado. I was relieved that they were no longer the living ghosts of this hereditary condition. The city, Tongchuan, reminded me of the conversation we had regarding William Eggleston's photographs. How do we determine whether a beautiful scene, an aesthetic object deserves our attention? When I was photographing in my mother's hometown, people stared at me with intense curiosity. They asked me where I was from and why I was taking photos. They seemed to be amused that I found this tiny city fascinating. I was trying to photograph a woman selling beans. I see her, she saw me. She knows I see her. She drops her glance. I like the fragility of these moments suspended in time. It's been a long time since I came around. Been a long time, but I'm back in town. And this time I'm not leaving without you. It tastes like whiskey when you kiss me. Oh, I'd give any. Has anyone heard of the song? You taste like whiskey when you. Who is it by? Exactly.
I heard of this song first when I was in middle school, actually, and it carries a kind of uncanny feeling for me. Can we go back to the beginning, please? So, my film talks a lot about grief, and recently I've been grieving a dear friend and a former lover who passed away. And I have realized that in American society, grief is not something we talk about a lot. It's something that we move on from privately and efficiently. But grief does not obey those logics, and it kind of leaks as you're grieving in public spaces, and they refuse casual narratives of healing and closure. In Chinese cosmology, grief is nonlinear, it's cyclical, ritualistic, and ancestral, and it requires tending. We maintain a living relationship with our dead through offerings, rites, and our devotion to the unseen realms. Love in a time of erosion resists the sanitization of grief. It lingers in a part that is shameful, erotic, cruel, and sometimes hard to explain. The relief of a relative's death, the way soil collapses, the dull ache of a body tainted by illness and longing, its grief as sediment, as inheritance, as the lifelong dust storms that begin after the funeral ends. The themes of my film are death, eros, and ancestral worship. The context for the film is the deaths of my maternal family members brought me back to their hometown in Tongchuan 6 years ago. This tiny city is located on the lowest plateau, which is also known as Huangtu Gaoyuan, the Yellow Earth Plateau. The rich but easily erodible soil results in harsh living conditions, and the plateau nurtures and devours. On this land, ancestral worship becomes a ritual of repair. Families would hike up hills to burn offerings. They would pour liquor into the cracked soil. They hold what's disappearing in their bodies, the dirt, paper money, food for the gods and for the dead. This is a public cemetery that I photographed when I visited Tongchuan last with my mother. This is a photograph of my mother on the left and my aunt on the right, burning paper money for my grandparents and for my uncle. It's a photograph of the lowest plateau. Another photograph, this is a documentation that I took when I was visiting a historical city. A photograph of a man with his goats, which is a rare sight for me. I haven't seen this since I was 7 years old. Tongchuan was once the main coal supplier for the entire nation in China. In 1990s, after decades of relentless extraction, the city became really heavily polluted and the economy began to erode. My maternal family moved to Tongchuan in the 1960 from Xinjiang, Henan, which is a adjacent province. My grandfather became a purchasing associate for the Tongchuan Mining Bureau. My grandmother, who was illiterate, stitched industrial grade masks. They had 3 children, my uncle, my aunt, and my mother. A family photograph of my maternal family. The baby on the left is my mother, was my mother. Again, my mother is standing on the left of the photograph, much older, and on her left was her sister, my aunt, with her baby, and also my cousin, who is the daughter of my uncle. It's a photograph of my uncle with me when I was an infant in the early 2000s. Photograph of me and my grandparents. It's a photograph I took after my aunt was partially paralyzed because of a stroke when I visited Tongchuan in 2019. My mother was the only one in the family that went to college. My uncle and my aunt stayed and worked in local factories. All of them shared a genetic condition, elevated lipoprotein A, which increases the risk for cardiovascular and cerebral vascular diseases. My uncle and my aunt both had strokes in their 50s. My aunt became partially paralyzed, and my uncle lost part of his cognitive function. My grandfather died first in the early 2000. In 2015, my uncle died from another stroke. 3 years later, my grandmother passed. These consecutive losses impacted my mother's psyche severely, and she started obsessively monitoring her own body and mind. When I started making this film, Love in a Time of Erosion, in 2020, I was seeing a white man who did not care about me. I was not proud of that relationship, not just because he was white, but also because I settled for a man who could not hold me, my artistry, my volatility, and my magnitude. I was enduring his constant diminishing and dislodging. I was also not perfect. I was emotionally abusive, and I almost destroyed his store when we were arguing. I weaponized my jealousy. So one of the questions I asked myself was, why did I date this white man? Was it for the gaze of legitimacy? The fantasy of being understood by the center? Why did I collapse my cultural power and translate myself for this white man consistently? White lovers often represent the fantasy of recognition without subjugation, the idea that maybe, if this one sees me right, I will be free from invisibility or fetishization. But the white man rarely delivers, if ever. So I loved a form, I loved the man who could not hold his and its own promise. My relationship was a reenactment of what the land, the body, and my family had endured and continue to endure. This film is not an elegy for the relationship. It's a record of the erosion that was already happening within me, exacerbated by the relationship. The film is a love letter, but one written from inside of a collapsing terrain. The lowest plateau in Love in a Time of Erosion becomes a site of my inherited fragility, soft earth, soft body, and soft boundaries between life and death, my buried lineage, death, and the reminder that nothing lasts forever, even land and civilization. Erotic entropy, love as landscape, like Lois, is beautiful but ultimately ungraspable. And finally, my body as a haunted ritual field, and my body as a medium for disease, demise, and disintegration. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, now we are going to move on to the second group of registered pitchers. So Minnie Lee, Sunny, Hanson, Camille, Yasmin, Leela, Matthew, Shiny, Gianni, and KT. So again, please keep your pitches to 2 minutes. I'm going to employ the nasty buzzer for this round. Okay.
Hello! Hi, I'm Minnie. I'm a little nervous to be here, but hi, nice to meet you all. I am a model. I used to be a second grade teacher, and I wanted to share you my story. So, boom. Play, please. Yes, that's me. Any Koreans here? That's me. I had to put my Korean in there. That's my Korean childhood right there. I grew up in many places. It's just gonna really be quick. My ballet background, and I love putting ballet in my work. Some black and whites, some artsy stuff. It's more meaningful than that, but I know it's under 2 minutes, but I just had to represent who I am in my modeling, and as you can see, there's a lot of reasons why I model, but it's going by so quickly. But if you, in the meantime, if you're bored and you want to scan the Instagram, you can. Please follow my journey. I really wanted to model because I wanted to show everyone that it's worth being you, and it's worth following your dreams, and it's really worth being liberated by your own obstacles that you create in your mind. And so thank you so much for having me today. And if you want to follow my journey, you can come follow me. Please say hi later on. And I know we have time, but it's okay. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sunny, and I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I work with film, video, installation, photography, but today I'm going to talk about my short film offerings. I often deal with grief and loss through primarily humor and satire in my video works, and this is no different. The center of this short film is the Xingming Festival. Can I have a show of hands of people who practice or know? Okay. We just saw it as an example as well earlier in a photograph, right, of the offerings. And I'm primarily interested in the offering of burned paper goods. You can see on the right-hand side a KK discount store in Chinatown right here. A beautiful mansion made out of paper. On the left is a storefront photo I took in Bangkok. So from a symbolic gesture of burning money for our dead ancestors and family members, we have now an elaborate industry, a very profitable industry of burning paper goods. And of course, there's a very humorous aspect to this. Lots of questions. Why are we making paper products that are meant to perish? Why are we giving grandpa Apple products and a credit card? But to me, I think this humorous aspect is actually the beautiful channel to tell stories. I'm thinking about consumerism, capitalism, trade, and tariffs. Speaking with storefront owners, and one anecdote is, the Gucci fashion group has tried to sue Hong Kong sellers for what they deem as counterfeit objects. So very interesting. But where I am with this project is in the development stage. I am primarily a visual artist and very much in that world. So my call to action today is I'd love to hear from you, any advice, any tips, even comments or experience or your own stories related to this topic. I'm looking for funding opportunities, incubation programs, guidance, mentorship, you name it. And you can find me on my website or just find me today. Thank you so much.
So hi everyone, I'm Hansen. I'm an independent filmmaker, producer, and content creator. I'm from Fujian, which is the really large migrant community here. But I'm the first generations to study and work abroad. All my family think I'm insane because none of them work in our industry, and they really want me to have baby before 30. So, however, I really want to make something happen before becoming a normal kid for them. So last year, I found my production company. Oh, oh, this is my contact. So take a picture in case you forgot it. My production company, it aims to help a first-time filmmaker or emerging filmmaker to complete their first or second feature or short films. Why? Because I see so much potential and emotion in young artists, especially in their early career. So I love growing with them and exploring what cinema can be for our generation. So this year, I just finished producing this feature documentary film, Always, directed by a Chinese director, Deming Chen. Now it's at the festival circuit, and it's a cinema poem about this really talented boy in Hunan, China, writes poem to express his emotional journey by growing up with his grandparents. So this film was world premiere at the CPH Doc and won the Best Documentary Film Award, which means we are pre-qualified for the Oscar, and also won the Best Picture at the Cheonju International Film Festival in Korea. So right now, I'm self-distributed this film, and I'm looking for collaborators and investors to join my journey to bring this story, really bold cinema poet film, to a wider audience, to the cinema and more local community. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Camille. I'm a scholar and an artist. I just moved to New York and I graduated college out west in California. I'm here to talk about my zine. So, for the past couple of years, I've been working on this project called City of Yearning. I've been in and out of Taipei over the summers. My zine studies three Cai Mingliang films set in the 1990s and 2000s. So I'm an urban studies scholar. I specifically study urbanization and how characters in the film and Thai depicts rapid urban change post martial law. Here's pictures of me slaving away in the print shop, hand making my zines. And I'm selling some of them at a sliding scale from $15 to $30. Here it is in the flesh. It's 44 pages, full color. It has like drawings and map annotations, and a little bit of personal memoir. Yeah, so my ask is like, I would like to like distribute these more. I have like several copies with me, so just find me. But if you have like other places to sell zines, like zine festivals and the like, and also just like other spaces in the city to like continue making zines, I'd love to talk to you if you like do this yourself and like, you know, maybe how you do it while also trying to make money and like having a job. But yeah, that's me. Come find me.
Hi, I'm Yasmin. I am a documentary filmmaker and animator. I'm also the director and producer of Together. Together is a feature documentary film which blends verite footage showing the currently unfolding story and animation and archival footage showing the past to tell a story about a 50-year journey of healing from family separation and childhood trauma. Our film opens with Juliet. She's a Vietnamese American woman. She is sitting alone at a diner in Virginia. She is awaiting the drunk driver that she believed killed her mother 30 years ago. She arranged a meeting with him in order to offer him forgiveness for the decades of hatred she's felt towards him. But in an unexpected twist, she learns that things are not as they seem. There was no drunk driver. Her father was at fault for the accident that killed her mother. And a police report leads her and her younger sister, Jen, who both were separated in foster care themselves as children, to discovering they have yet another sibling in Vietnam, a woman named Hong who was left behind at the fall of Saigon and the end of the Vietnam War. Ultimately, this is a story about three sisters who reunite after decades apart. Despite growing up in separate homes around the world, each has suffered from grief, loss, and abuse by the very people who were supposed to take care of them. The film has been filmed over 12 years, and it is now a story about the family connecting and their 50-year journey towards healing. Right now, this film comes at a crucial point in time when record numbers of families are already being separated due to war, immigration policies, and inadequate social support systems. But these stories aren't ending when these policies are being reversed, if they are. These are really stories about healing, and these stories are just beginning. So our film, we are hopefully at the end of our 12-year journey, and the film is currently in post-production, and we are currently seeking executive producers, funding, collaborators, and impact partners with the goal of completing the film next year. And when we release it, we want to launch it along with an impact campaign with a series of healing workshops to help create community and a safe space for dialogue. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. There's a film that we're starting out with. Okay, hi everybody. My name is Leela. I'm the programs director at Arte East. I have some slides as well. Yes, no, thank you. So I'm the programs director at Arte East, and you just saw a film about our archive. We focus on the Middle East, North Africa, and Central Asia, but through our programs, what's really important for us is to emphasize the ethnic, linguistic, and cultural diversity of the regions. A few years ago, we started a program called Unpacking the Arte Archive, where we invite every month a curator to put together a program of contemporary films alongside films from our archive. These are some examples of the films, all the programs of this year, and the programs are free and accessible worldwide for 10 days. We also host in-person screenings, and because we don't have a space, we are always looking for collaborators and people to co-present our screenings with. So that is our ask, and if you know anyone and would like to, sorry, I'm at time. If you know anyone who would like to collaborate with us, please reach out to me and let me know. And then finally, this is a program that we have at the end of the month. So you can take a picture. It'll be in the slides that they share with you. It's at the, yeah, it's a wonderful program. Thank you.
Matthew, is Matthew Nolan here? Matthew is not here, so we are going to, oh, you are.
Hi guys. I'm Annika Musin. This is Matt. I am the writer. Do we have the slide? Oh, you have it. Okay. I am the writer of my short film Living. When I wrote this, it's been through a couple of awards. I wrote this like a year and a half ago. This is a story about two sisters who are from Taiwan, and they become estranged or separated because one of them immigrates to America, and then 17 years later they reunite for the very first time, and they're forced to acknowledge the fact that they're no longer the same people that they once were to each other. This is a story that is based on real events that happened in my family with my mother and her niece. And yeah, go ahead. Do you want to talk about characters? Okay, these are our characters. Yeah, we have Helena, Sage, Aria. Go ahead, just keep going.
This is our creative team. Between the four of us, our films premiered at over 12 festivals, including Cannes and Tribeca. We've also partnered with these amazing companies, including Broken Flames Productions, who are a Forbes under 30 under 30 nominee. City Island, Broken Mirror, and Fractured Atlas, who has fiscally sponsored our production. And then Annika can.
So basically what this film is, what we were trying to do is we really wanted to take out a lot of the political controversy that comes with immigration in America. We really wanted to look at the personal sides of what does it look like for the people, not just the people that leave, but also the families that they leave behind. What is the impact of immigration on both ends? And what does that look like when they come back together? And we're doing that through a lens of sisterhood and the dance of family and how delicate that relationship can be. I really just wanted to bring a little bit of humanity back into immigrants in America and their families that they leave behind. So yeah, so with this film right now, okay, time's up. Thanks, guys.
Hi everyone, I'm Shiny and I wanted to talk a little bit about A Romantic Purpose Productions, which is a group that I formed with my close friends to extend my poetry into multimedia storytelling and narrative film. So through short films and sort of music video style content as well, we explore different themes on love and life, such as cultivating authenticity, chasing fulfillment and freedom through self discovery and our relationships with others. We always try to elevate AAPI talent and creatives through our work as well. Right now, it's a very small team. It's just myself and my cinematographer and my production coordinator. These are a few clips from our first project that we worked on, which is called What or Who is Really Holding You Back? We shot this over a few days in Manhattan, and this outlines a bit more around the themes that we try to explore. Again, it's really about embracing your authenticity, embracing that journey of self-growth and fulfillment. We always like to explore kind of the ups and downs of loves and relationships and the ebb and flow of that. And the primary purpose of my pitch today is to seek out fellow creatives and collaborators for these upcoming projects, specifically actors, producers. If you're a musician and would like to have your music featured in our project, for example, social media gurus. We're also seeking support in terms of funding, mentorship as well. So you can reach out to me via these details or you can chat with me afterwards. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone. My name is Jenny, and I'm a freelance filmmaker.
Hi everyone, my name is Xiao Xiao. I'm an actor and also the collaborator of this project.
So today we're here to introduce a film that we are developing at the moment, which is called The Toad. And The Toad is a feature film about two strangers, Vince, a young monk expelled from his monastery, and May, a young girl traveling with an urn. And they meet in the Arizona desert and embark on a journey in search of a toad set to bring upon ecstasy. Sorry.
But the real journey is internal. On the journey, they meet people on the margins and confront their own buried grief.
At its core, the film asks the question, what does it take to be healed, and what happens when we learn to let go?
In a time of constant distractions, the film offers a rare invitation to move forward not with certainty, but with intention and care.
And in terms of visual style, poetic realism is our goal. So think No Country for Old Men meets Cai Mingliang.
We are currently building a team, refining the script, and looking for fundings.
So come and talk to us, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello. Okay. Hello. My name is KT. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm a film director and artist. I'm here to share my current film project in a box that's in the beginning stages of pre-production. Oh. Oh. Okay. um, These are my main sources of inspiration. The first focuses on the E8 Lie group, a 248-dimensional mathematical structure seen here in 2D. E8 theory states that all known principal particles correspond to one of the 248 dimensions, each having a specific vibration or direction, which is dictated by the interaction between the particles. The second theory focuses on the concept that our inner being is infinite. The externalized expression of our inner experience is a communication. However, our inner being is housed in our body, a finite bridge between our inner and external reality, concluding that all communication as a representation of self is incomplete. The last two relate to quantum superposition. Apple in a box deals with an apple being sealed in a box for infinity. You can assume that the apple decays, but you cannot say for certain the state of the apple. Further theorizing that if left sealed for infinity, the particles of the apple could form back into any given phase. Schrodinger's cat is similar but deals with life or death, and the timeline is finite. You're unsure of the state of the cat until further observation. From everything I've shared, I have three concepts I intend to visualize. Even in a finite space, there's still infinite potential. There's a significant influence even in the smallest interaction. And lastly, reality and time is nonlinear and influenced by observation. I'm currently working on translating the E8 dimensions into choreography. I'm looking for funding, crew members, an editor, choreographer, and any technical, creative mentoring or support. Thank you.
So much. All right, let's give a big round of applause for all our 2-minute pitchers. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to try to make sure this doesn't go up. All right, so we are running so far behind, but we are still going to do our 30-second pitches. So if you want to give a 30-second pitch, sign up here on the sheet. Oh, we're already 11. Oh, okay, so we're at the limit. So sorry, no more. If you haven't signed up already, sorry. But next time. Okay, so just come on up here. You got 30 seconds, and then I'm going to come and take the mic away.
Hi, I'm Michelle. Okay, I am one of the producers of Shoes Off, All Asian Improv. We have 3 shows coming up in July. Our first show, we have a show on Sunday for Fun and Dumb Improv Festival this Sunday, July 13th at BCC in Williamsburg. We just got a date for this Friday or Saturday, confirming at the Second City in Williamsburg. And then Saturday, July 19th, we have a show at 10:30 at Magnet Theater in Chelsea where there is a free jam afterwards. A jam is where anyone can come up from the audience and just start doing improv. What is improv? No lines. Follow us on Instagram, Shoes Off Improv, or me, and you can email us at shoesoffimprov@gmail.com. Thank you so very much.
Hey, I'm Joe. The job market is broken, and what choices do immigrant kids have left when they can't attain their parents' dreams? I'm making a film about a young Thai American who plunges into the monkhood in an unexpected place. And I found a golden temple in upstate New York who's excited about the film. Let me know if you want to work on it.
Hello, my name is David Kwong Pham. You can follow me at Science Theater. I'm a musical theater composer and astrophysicist. You may have seen me at the Tonys last time. And yeah, my musical is about a Vietnamese mother and her son Parsley who's trying to earn their green card by opening a salon in a garden that doesn't welcome them. And yeah, it's currently a finalist for Creative Capital. It's currently going to be readapted for animation. So if you want to check out our treatments, you can visit photosynthesisfilm.com. And I'll sing a song. C6H12O6 plus 6O2, 6 carbon, 12 hydrogen, 6 oxygen plus 6 oxygen molecules. Photosynthesis, photosynthesis, photo.
Wow. Hi, y'all. My name is Gary. I'm here representing ADOC, the Asian American Documentary Network. This is less of a pitch and more of a plug. ADOC is a national network that works to increase the visibility and support for Asian Americans within documentary fields. We are a growing network of 1,800 plus. We invite you to be a part of that. ADOC was formed 2016 at the Getting Real conference. We have programs that include the Impact Initiative, the Storytelling Initiative, as well as the ADOC Allies. a-doc.org, and find us on Instagram. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Aditi Sridhar. I'm a narrative and documentary filmmaker, producing and directing mostly. I'm developing a short documentary about a woman named Doris, aka she calls herself Apo. She has a restaurant in East Williamsburg called Apo's Taste. Highly recommend if you haven't been. I've started filming a little bit with her and her relationship specifically with the Street Vendor Project, which advocates for street vendors and helps them with things like permits and making sure they're not getting kicked off the street, which is starting to happen to a lot of street vendors. I'm looking for DPs and editors who might be interested. Incredible food and vibes guaranteed.
Thank you, Lisa and Justine, for having this space for us. My new short film, Selfless, is a pitch black comedy about the lengths a mother will go for her son. The film was accepted by the Gotham Fiscal Sponsorship. The budget is $30,000. We've raised about $12,000. We're looking for funding help, as well as to come talk to me. I have a QR code in my flyer, and you can check more about it. Thank you.
Hey, now that I have the mic. 北京小妞真叫风流. Yeah, if this song ever resonates with you, hit me up. So I got a pretty interesting music video project. Already got the footage. I'm just looking for some post-production talents or even money out there. Again, my name is Steve with a double I. See ya.
Hi, good evening, everyone. We are Brooklyn Filmmakers Collective. We're a community of filmmakers, and you can find us on Instagram and YouTube. And recently, we just put out 2 amazing filmmakers interviews, those candid conversations. People talk about how they get their film written, made, and funded. And if you're interested, check us out on social media. Thank you.
Hello, I'm here representing Dancing Through Prison Walls. We're a abolitionist dance collective. We dance with incarcerated folks, we collaborate with them, we invite them to write dances and stories which are sent out to us, which we then interpret into dance performances. We have a gallery exhibition at Recess Art in Brooklyn until August 9th. It's half rehearsal studio, half exhibition space. We will be activating dances sent to us from inside prisons in Ohio, Michigan, Puerto Rico, upstate New York. We have weekly dance showings, which are free. We have short films on loop in the gallery. We have original copies, recess arts, dancing through prison walls.
Hi everyone, my name is Judy Lee. I'm a zine publisher and a Polaroid photographer. Today I'm talking to you about Sit Mag, which is a zine that I run. It's short for Situationship. We're looking for people who want to share more about their stories, situations that you're thinking about, your love life, secrets you want to tell, literally anything. So if you want to get interviewed for it, please let me know. You can find me at sitmag__ or j.lee Polaroid. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mateus Ting. I'm typically a performer, actor, singer, dancer, but recently I just wrote and produced, I think we just finished the fundraising for my new short film. It's called Ascension. Essentially, it's, everyone knows Greek, Roman, Egyptian mythologies. No one really explores like the Chinese or East Asian myths, so I basically took the legend of Chang'e, turned it into like a modern day fairy tale with like a kind of like a dark twist. And so we're looking for, costume, hair, makeup, production designer, and fans. Thank you. Okay.